There's an obsession with getting new clients in barbering these days. But if you've been a barber for more than 5 minutes, you probably don't need new clients. It's likely that you just need to do a better job with the clients that you have.
What's the point in getting new clients if they don't stick around? The best businesses in the world rely on repeat custom.
In this video, we're going to talk to you about client retention strategies that every barber needs to know in 2025. The constant need or the feeling of having to get new clients, to me, is just exhausting. You know, if I've learned anything in business, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that your business is built and your money is made in retention. You know, 80% of your income will come from 20% of your clients, and 20% of your income will come from 80% of your clients. So who is it that we're actually looking after? So if we're to break this down, Lee, on the unlimited model, the way that we work with our clients in the mentorship program, you know, we work on 3 main areas, which is attract, you know, looking at attraction and bringing people to the business, retention, which is a massive underpinning part of the model, and the delivery system in which the business operates and which people go through. Today, let's talk about retention, and let's talk about the 3 different areas in which we help our clients retain both clients and team, right? Because team is also a very interesting thing when it comes to retention. It's not just about clients, it's about attracting and bringing in team and retaining them as well. That's where the business is essentially built. So I think we can both agree, and I would hope that everybody listening to this would also agree, but there's nothing that just beats an undeniable product. Let's just start there. When it comes to retaining your clients, nothing beats an undeniable product and service. And to be honest, one doesn't even have to be better than the other. You can have an undeniable product, and if your service is lackluster, people will still come back for the product. And the same goes for the other way around. You can have an average product and an amazing service. People will still come back for it, depending on what their preferences are. But if you can get those two to cross over in the middle, and you can provide an amazing experience, because when the product and the service meet in the middle, that's when the experience, start to finish, is just undeniable. We've talked about this for years, but you only ever really need to be about 10% better than anybody else that they've been to before, which is not hard in the barbering world. To me, let's start with that one, Lee. Let's start with the skill. That's part of the model. An undeniable product and service is going to be the thing that outweighs pretty much anything else when it comes to retaining clients.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, why do I agree? Well, the psychology of, let's dig into the psychology of why somebody is buying a haircut in the first place. Really, they're buying a result. They want a result, right? And if you're promising a high quality result and you can deliver a high quality result, high likelihood they're going to keep buying it. Why? Because you gave them the thing that you promised and the thing that they're after. Then when you layer on top a really good service, it's going to be amazing, right? The way that I think it's not going to work is if the service is all like dressed up with all these things and nice things and extras and whatever, but the product is bad. Like you were talking about, it's average, but if the product's bad and the service is all dressed up, then I think it don't work. Then I think it won't work, because you're going to be known for the person that dresses things up, overcompensates with what it all looks like. And, oh, look at this. We've got the massage chair and we've got the hot towel and we've got the sprays and this and this, but the result is actually bad. You know, so it's so important. And I was chatting to one of our friends the other day who's into marketing, and he said we had this chat on like where we sit, what's more important, the offer or the product, and they're both really important, but you just can't beat an undeniable product. Why? Because it makes everything else easier. When you know that your product is outstanding, the marketing's easy, the advertising's easy, the offer is easy. Why? Because you know it's good. It's like, this thing is amazing. That's why I'm going to tell you about it every day. I don't need to lie or pull the wool over your eyes in the offer. The offer just becomes easy because you know that when they get the thing, it's going to be incredible.
I think that's what's led to us, you know, being one of the first people in Australia to charge over $100 for a haircut and get booked back to back and be in demand at that high price point. When people who are doing a similar product in the area, they were doing a similar product. It wasn't that much different to what the client would know. But it was the positioning, and it was the service, and it was the conviction and the confidence. And that's why it's so important to get good at what you do. And I think that's the action step from this. It's like, just put time and effort into getting really good at what you do, because it's not really for the client. It's for you. It's for you as the barber. Get good at what you do so that when the client sits in your chair, you have absolutely no doubt in your mind that they're coming back and you're going to retain them. I never had that doubt. Every single person who sat in my chair, there was an unconscious, subconscious belief that they're coming back, unless it was my choice that they didn't, because we just didn't gel and we didn't click. And I didn't like cutting their hair, because there's always pain in the arse clients. They're not the ones that you want to retain, though. It's the ones that are aligned with what you're about, have no problem paying. You like them, you can help them, and they can pay. That's the way to look at it. But the skill part is something that just can't be overlooked. And if you can do that and you can create a fantastic experience for people, start to finish, it's all you really need to do.
Yeah. I mean, this is a massive hack for barbers that want to become successful, is get good, not for the point of getting good and telling everybody that you're good and getting validation from being good. It's get really good as efficiently as possible so you can tuck that one away and focus on the stuff that's actually going to build your business. That is the trap that we see a lot of barbers falling into. A lot of barbers are trying to get good and only get good and tell everybody that, look at me, I'm good, and get the validation from that and fall into the perfectionism cycle of that, which is just a trauma pattern. For us, the way that we coach our guys is get really good. We'll give you all the resources. You want to get good at cutting hair? Just send me a DM. I'll give you the stuff and you can get good. Why? Because we believe if you can tuck that one away, then you can get really good at the service, the marketing, the content, the advertising, the nurture. That's why it's so important to get good. Now, that's a hack if you want to get really successful as a barber. Getting good is not just about, oh, look at me. You know, And we always say that should just be inevitable. Just tuck it away, get good, get that system, get it there, tuck it away, and then you can really focus on growing your business.
So if all of your energy is going into focusing on making sure that the product is good, but then you lack on the service, that's going to have a weird energetic feeling for the client. It's all about like the feeling and the energy between the barber and the client. And you know, generally speaking, a lot of barbershop owners and people who own shops and lead teams have this ingrained within them already because they came through maybe at an earlier stage. So they're just more naturally good at customer experience and client experience. But their teams, who are maybe a bit younger, are just so focused on getting the product right that they forget that the service is also important. So it's kind of like a dance. And, you know, I think it's important that the team's leader actually trains the team on all aspects of start to finish client experience. So that's something that we massively focus on with the guys within the program. It's not all about being the best barber in the world, but that's more so in terms of like client facing stuff. For you, you got to be good for you so that you can be regulated and calm and centered. And you're going to be able to focus on all of the other levers that are more important to grow a business.
Yep. It's one of the great paradoxes of the barbering world, isn't it? Is a lot of people ask us like, oh, what's more important? Is it more important to be good, or is it more important to get the marketing right? It's like, they're both important. But if the product is amazing, everything else is easier. You can really dial in on service. And we've experienced this ourselves lately. We were speaking to a friend of ours at the cafe, and he's not a barber. He's in a different industry. And he said, I don't care if my barber keeps putting the price up. As long as the service is there, I'll keep paying it. And we've heard that from a few people lately. And because he had different experience, he went to a different barbershop and the service wasn't quite, you know, what he was used to. It was loud. It wasn't relaxing. There was a few things going on. There were conversations happening over the top of him, which that was just his preference. He wasn't really there for that. So he thought, nope, I'm going to go back to my other guy. The service is exactly how I like it there. And I don't care what he charges. I'll pay it because that's what I've chosen and that's what I enjoy. And that's the system. But all of that becomes really easy when the product is good.
Yeah. So don't forget that your clients aren't part of the furniture. They're people. And when you just have a good conversation with them and you just treat them like if you can just have a conversation with them as close to a normal conversation as possible whilst delivering a very high quality product, that's going to beat everything, because that's what we did well when we were in the barbershop. We tucked the skill set stuff out of the way. We had that covered. We practiced that in our own time. We put the years of mastery into it. We seek the help. We got the advice. We got the mentors. We did the training, so that when we were there at game day, when it was time to actually perform on the barbershop floor, the skill set wasn't even a thing. When we were doing consultation with people, it wasn't like, can you do a 1? Can you do a 2? Can you do a 3? They're not questioning the skill set. That's fucking done. Like, that's tucked away. Like, don't you worry about the skill set. We'll cover that. Let's just have a conversation to see how you're feeling at the moment. What's going on for you in your life? Sometimes it wasn't even about the hair. They'd just be like, oh yeah, just do what it is you need to do. They know what they're coming for. If you're good enough at your marketing and you've got a good enough product and service, they know what they're coming for. The rest of it just becomes about how comfortable can you make the experience. To be honest, we probably don't even have to keep going, but let's keep going with some other things. But that's going to retain the majority of your people. And if you just smash that, you actually end up having retention problems. Like, we got to the point where retention was a problem for us because too many people wanted to stay. And that's when we could start to actually play with the levers of supply and demand and grow the business. And that's what we help our people do now in the Unlimited Barber Mentorship. Second thing, which is fairly obvious on the surface, but not really done that much in real life, which is crazy to a hairdresser like yourself. But in barbering, it doesn't happen as often. It's prioritizing rebookings, making sure that you're rebooking your clients at the end of each service. It doesn't happen as much in barbering. It's just a common practice in hairdressing. You know, I watched my mother do it with a pencil, funnily enough, pencil and appointment book, because people would obviously cancel and they'd have to like rub it out. Very old school, right? But that was the reality of the time. But like, if you're not prioritizing rebookings, you're not prioritizing profit in the future of your business. You're not building any predictability into your future. And I was talking to somebody actually from a publication in Australia the other day, and we were talking about like cash flow forecasting. And she was like, I can't believe barbers and barbershop owners don't do more cash flow forecasting. And I was like, I know. It's completely wild to me. So when you prioritize rebookings and you have, you know, your pipeline essentially filled further in advance, it's easier to start making business decisions because you can start to predict what your income is going to be. So if you're not doing that and you're not retaining clients, you're going to find it very difficult to make business decisions. To get back to the topic of today's conversation, which is client retention strategies, retaining them through rebookings not only helps you predict your future income, but also just locks that client in and keeps them, especially if they've had a good experience and they're hot. Just get them while they're hot, because they'll go about their regular life. When they leave the barbershop, they're not thinking about you anymore. And it'll come to the next time for them to book a haircut. And if you liked the experience, if you enjoyed it with them, rebook them.
If you're not rebooking clients, it's because you're scared as well. A lot of people are too scared to actually have that uncomfortable conversation. If you've never done it before, and we speak to a lot of barbers who haven't done it before, they're like, oh no, I don't do that. I can't speak about that. Everything you want in life is on the other side of discomfort. So part of the practice is learning systems and frameworks to actually have the conversation. And it's like we always say, you know, it's exposure therapy. The more you do it, the more simple and easy it becomes, and the less scary it becomes. That's what stops a lot of people. And the reason we are so hot on this, and the reason we bring it in as a system and a process into our coaching group, is because it helps us to run our business, not our clients. So I hear a lot of barbers say, but the lads, you know, they just want to book online. They just want to book in their own time. They don't know what their schedules are. They don't know when they're working. It's like, okay, but always remember, who are we training our people to be? And if that kind of behavior isn't great behavior for a business needs structure, it needs systems, and it needs pipeline filling. We need to be able to predict the future in advance. So if we let that blasé behavior be the thing that runs our business, it's probably not going to turn out great. And that's the industry that we have, right? We see a lot of people come to us with these issues, and they have pipeline problems. They have cash flow forecasting problems. Why do most barbershops not cash flow forecast? Number one, because they don't know how to. Number two is because they can't. They don't fill the pipeline far enough ahead to even forecast cash flow. So where does it all begin? It's all on the other side of an uncomfortable conversation. And I think if we can get over that and start to build it into our practice and our process and find really subtle ways and creative ways to do that, your business is going to grow way better than you ever thought it could. And this relates to that quote, money is the medicine, right? Why is money the medicine? Because the person with money is way more relaxed, way more regulated, and way more of service than the person who isn't. The person who doesn't have future income predicted is in hunter-gatherer and is in survival mode. The nervous system is jacked up. Am I going to survive? Am I not? Am I going to get the money? Am I not? But when you can see 12 months ahead, 6 months ahead, 12 months ahead, you can see, imagine this, take this in for a feeling. 50% of your calendar is already taken care of for 12 months. Well, that feels way more relaxed because the pressure's off. I know it's inevitable that 50% of my calendar is going to fill up over the course of that time. Of course it is. So that is the power of what it can do in your business. It's not just about predicting revenue. The whole point of predicting revenue and income is, number one, so you can grow your business. Number two, so you can actually relax. Yeah. Because when you relax, life is so much better.
Yeah. So I think a good place for people to start would be to strip it back from even 12 months to 6 months back to 1 month.
Yes.
Start to build like a flow of what a month looks like in your business and build predictability in that way. You know, the cash flow forecast is kind of like the weather forecast. It's not guaranteed, but it gives you an idea of what's coming up. And the person who starts every month at 10K a month locked in, or whatever the number is a different person than the person who starts at 0 and has to build from nothing with complete unpredictability and stress. So get your clients rebooked.
And it's also exhausting.
Oh, it's exhausting.
Right? We were speaking a little bit about the client retention in the previous point of like going out and hunting every day is exhausting. There's a reason the old tribes are called hunter-gatherers, not just hunting, because hunting every single day, all day, every day is exhausting. The whole point in gathering, which is pipeline filling, which is rebooking your clients, you hunt for new ones, you bring them into your world, and then you rebook them into the future, which is gathering. And when you do that, you can relax. You've got energy. If you've got to hunt all day, every day, there's no wonder we have the industry we do. Everybody's tired. Everybody's exhausted.
It's funny, man. I just came up with a little analogy that kind of encapsulates the model, like the unlimited model. It's essentially hunting, gathering, and building like your home. So it's like the delivery part is like building the house, building the infrastructure, building the home. The retention side of things is the resources that you gather from your hunting. So like it's nothing has changed. Nothing has changed since the tribe days, really. It's just there's different iterations of how it all works.
Yeah. And that's why our model works time and time again. It doesn't just work with Barbers, it works with all businesses. Why? Because it's based in human psychology and human biology. It's like, you'd be amazed, right? However many hundreds of thousands of human life there's been, we haven't changed that much. And I explained this to one of our clients the other day on a coaching call. It's like, why does this stuff work? It's like, because humans' minds don't change that much. The day that it does change, then we're going to have to start to look at some different things. Then we're going to be like, oh, can we trust these models? Can we trust this idea? Because what we found up until this point, human psychology is pretty much the same across the board. Yeah. We've all got triggers. We've all got reward systems. We've all got patterns that are built in through survival. And that is what leads much of business. Business, if you can really break that down, business, marketing, sales, all of it is really broken down to fundamental psychology. If you can understand that fundamental psychology, you can have a much better chance of success.
Another part of fundamental psychology is communication. And I think, a big part of retaining your clients and retaining people in your organization in general, just team as well, is how well you can communicate with them. The only communication that we see between barbershop and client these days is the appointment reminder text or email, which is essentially, hey, here's your reminder to come for your appointment. And if you don't show up, I'm charging you. Like, that to me is not nurture, and there's a difference between like communication and nurture. And nurture requires you, providing value, creating value, teaching people something about themselves, making recommendations. Like every single piece of content that you put out is basically a call to action. When people see you, that's enough. It's a call to action for them to come and get your thing. But there's a difference between always asking people to buy your stuff and actually nurturing them and giving them something and giving them a reason to come back. Like actually teaching them something in your content in between. So we don't see this happen quite like this is crazy. I'm going to give you this one. This is from the program. But we traveled the world last year. We traveled all around the world. We spoke to thousands of barbers at all of these different shows, all the different events, all of our classes. And very, very few, I can't even really think of one person. This is crazy. Apart from the people who are in our coaching group, I can't think of one person who's consistently nurturing their clients through email. Consistently. And that was like a massive unlock. People have added thousands upon thousands of dollars to their business based on the strategies that we've given them through email marketing.
Yeah.
It is insane that that's not happening.
Yeah. And another thing that I see, if you're not helping your clients to feel safe and to trust you in between appointments, it's highly likely that they might not buy from you again or they might not come back. So think about, here's a scenario. Dave comes into the shop, he's had his appointment, and then he rebooks, he leaves, and the first email he gets is, "Hey Dave, your appointment's on 30th of June. Don't forget, if you don't show up, there's going to be a no-show fee," and blah, blah, blah. It's like, whoa. Like, does that scream safety or not? Does that scream trust or not? It doesn't. And one of the key things in business and building a great business and creating buyer safety and buyer trust is how safe and how trustworthy are you? Like, if that's the nurture style, hey, by the way, don't forget, if you don't show up, I'm going to charge you. That's not safe. Like, that doesn't mean don't do that. It means build it in somewhere else, into the pipeline, into the model, into your business model. Make sure all of those systems and frameworks, cancellation policies, no-show fees, all that stuff are baked into your policies so that your nurture can be creating buyer safety and buyer trust. And when you nail that, it's magical. How many bookings have we seen our guys get off these nurture emails? Crazy.
Yeah. Like 80 from one email. Like
one email.
Stuff like that.
10 minutes of work.
Yeah, not even.
Less
than 10 words in an email, but the words matter, and it's just magic, man. It's really magic. And it's not difficult. It's just knowing what to do. All of this is underpinned by a really good plan, which is in the delivery side of things. A good plan and a good strategy and a good understanding of your purpose, your values, what your business is about, and why you do what you do. When it's underpinned by that, you should have absolutely no problem with asking people to buy your stuff.
Yeah. And the communication in between time, I use this analogy of like getting your clients off the fence. Okay. So imagine like gardens on terrace houses, they're all joined together, and we want to keep our clients in the garden. Keep your clients in our garden. Show them another part of the garden. Show them over there. Don't let your client jump up on the fence, because once they jump up on the fence, very easy for them to go jump in someone else's garden. Very easy for them to, have a look around and see, what else is out there? Maybe I'll go to that one today. The nurture is like, hey, come into my world, and I want to make you feel like you're a part of our world. You're respected in our world. Here's something to learn. Here's something to inspire. Here's maybe just something entertaining. This is speaking into brand now as well. Bring people into the brand. Give them a reason to come back. Give them a reason to believe in your stuff. Give them a reason to feel safe. Give them a reason to trust you. And I know a lot of this sounds like a headache, but guys, the world's a big place. There's 8 billion people on the planet. In the Western world, there's thousands of barbershops in any given big city that you go to. People have options. It's not just about you anymore. And so we need to be thinking about all these touch points. And if we can do that, keep people in your garden. Don't let your clients sit on the fence. Man, they're going to be coming back. You're going to fill the pipeline. Your client retention is going to be better than ever. Why? Because they believe in you. They feel like they're a part of something, and they really trust your brand.
An analogy I love to use as well is the house analogy. And, we got taught this before. A couple of our coaches have shared this with us in terms of like, you don't want the back door to be as big as the front door. So like, especially for the clients that you want to keep in your house. So if the back door is just as big as the front door, you could be attracting and bringing all the people in. But if they're coming through a system that's not working, if they're coming into a broken system and they're leaving as fast as they're coming in, you're on the hamster wheel again. You're just on the hamster wheel of getting new clients. And it's exhausting. It's really, really exhausting. And then you start losing, the will to like have, I guess, autonomy over your own business and make your own choices, because you start falling into victim mode, thinking that like anyone should just come and sit in my chair. No, we're not in that world anymore. We're not in the walk-in world. We're not in that world anymore. It doesn't mean that model doesn't work. But if you want to curate your days, build predictability into your life, which I would encourage you to do, because we're in a very busy world. Our minds and our senses are exposed to more than they've ever been exposed to. So let's try and build as much predictability into things as possible. And, humans, we react very, very well to familiarity. And like, if each week has a kind of familiar flow and we're spending time with familiar people, and you can't spell familiar without familia, you want to be bringing your family into your house.
Yeah.
And like, that's essentially what we're going to try and do here, is like, you're going to spend more time with your clients than you are with your family, arguably, right? Like, I spend more time with our clients than I spend with most of my family. And that is just a fact.
Yep.
Like, and whether it's over Zoom or whether it's in person, it doesn't matter. I spend more time with my clients than I do with my family. So my mission is to make sure that I actually like them.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And I love that house analogy. Make it easy for them to come in and make it slightly harder for them to leave. And
minimize the size of the back door.
Yeah.
Try and make it a cat flap if you can,
Big
and just
front door, small cat flap.
And just fucking slide the people out the cat flap that you don't particularly like.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
And just to touch on that point of, if new clients are going out the back door as fast as they're going in the front door, think about what that's going to do on a word of mouth basis. Like, what's the word going to be about your business? Why are they going out the back door as fast as they're coming in? I got a haircut from that person. Great marketing, but it wasn't great. If you do that enough, and if you accumulate enough of that, that's not going to be great for your brand. And you just don't want, that's very damaging to a brand. Why is it damaging? Because it deflates the trust. No one's going to trust your brand anymore, because they were going to heard from 10 other people that have been to you. Oh yeah, the videos were great and the marketing was great, but then when I went to get it, our service wasn't that good. Haircut, it was okay. Wasn't finished that well, but got me in and out, blah, blah, blah. Boom, he's straight out the back door. Then he sent me an email saying, oh, here's your next appointment. If you don't show up, I'm going to charge you. It's like, there's just not safety and trust built into it. And like I say, if that circulates enough, that would just destroy your brand.
And it's all transactional then. It just becomes fully transactional. It just becomes a complete and utter transaction, and there's nothing else involved in it. And people will feel that. And sometimes I think people will take the word too literally. We'll say, oh, you need, for example, somebody will come to us with a problem. We'll tell them, you need to set up a cancellation policy. So then they literally put it in the only message that they send their clients. And it's like, no, that's baked in. It's not like the icing on the outside of the cake. It's just baked in, right? Like, it's something that you put in there, but you don't directly say it to somebody. Yeah. It's not, it's more, again, we're back to the dating analogy, right? Like, you don't want to be just coming up to someone and saying, marry me, let's sign a prenup. You're basically asking them to sign a prenup.
But thinking like, you don't lead with the consequence. You don't lead with, hey, by the way, I'm a really good barber with a 100% cancellation policy. You don't put on your dating profile, hey, by the way, if I don't like you on the first date, you're paying for dinner.
Yeah.
Like, you don't lead with that. Like,
or like, if you break up with me, like, I'm charging you a fee,
Yeah. You don't lead with that. That's just kind of like baked into your values. Like, just have that in there. Like, that's just, it's okay.
Yeah, just get them to take a box when they're booking, like terms and conditions box, and have a service agreement, and like, they can read it if they want to read it, and like, set yourself up so that you protect your business. but don't set yourself up so that you destroy your business. To kind of wrap that up is like, rebookings are more important than bookings. That's what's going to build your business. Not always getting new clients. It's keeping the ones that you have, doing a better job with the ones that you have. And a lot of the time they're sitting there right in front of your face. It's literally right in front of your face and you just can't see it. The solution and the answers that you're looking for to grow your business are right there, waiting to be actioned.
And if you do have good retention, but you don't like the people that you've retained, that's an attraction problem. You need to go back to your attraction system and start attracting dream clients again, filter out some of the ones that you've already got. And then you can actually start to build that pipeline again with dream clients that you actually love. Because we only get one life and there's really no point living a life that we're not enjoying. You know, there's no amount of hair in the world, no one's hair in the world that's important enough that should hinder the way that you live your life and how much joy you have in your life. It's doable. It's 2025. All these things are really doable.
So keep that in mind, guys. 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your clients, and 20% of your income is going to come from 80% of your customers. And there's a difference and a distinction between clients and customers as well. Your clients are people that you want to keep around. Your customers are people that just do custom with you. That's the transaction. One is a relationship. So prioritize the people in your business that are bringing in the most money and the most joy on a day-to-day basis, and watch your business skyrocket. We've got plenty more videos just like this one, helping barbers to grow their business. If you want to access them, if you want to watch them, if you want to listen to our stuff, just click on our channel and scroll through. You can find out a little bit more about us and how we can help you grow your barber business from here and into the future.